I'm going to speak today about reparenting the inner child. I don't yet have a good video set up, so today I'm recording the audio and I'm going to share some still images from one of Purna's unconditional love workshops so you can have a sense of me teaching visually as I speak, and in a couple weeks or so I will also have a good video set up so that you can see me as I talk. So far we've been practicing cultivating golden sunlight, which is a form for working with unconditional love, and then we've met the inner child and practiced witnessing the unresolved feelings and letting the child know that they're loved no matter what. So today I'm going to talk about how to use these practices, how to integrate them into our lives. So I say practice when you do need it and practice when you don't need it. So practice regularly, make it a regular daily practice if you can. And then also practice when you don't need it. As you practice daily, it builds like building a muscle. It makes it easier for you to access these practices when it is more challenging. And then when you do need it, you also can call upon these practices when you are in a challenging spot in your life. So it's like a loving parent. So when a child is upset, you comfort and love them. But that's not the only time that you give them love. So you also would give a child love and have loving interactions when they're not upset and when you have joyful moments to share. If a parent responds only when a child acts out, you may have heard of negative attention. So the child will learn they act out. They learn that they need to act out to get attention. So if you give attention to the inner child, to yourself, only when you feel upset, if you only give yourself a break or do something nurturing for yourself when you're really breaking down, then the inner child, your inner wisdom, will create crises and upset to get the attention it needs. So from here one could go to, my inner child is bad. My inner child is so bad. They're always creating problems. There's always upset. And so the child is you. The child is you. This is your primal emotional self. If you say your inner child is bad, you probably have a belief at some level that you are bad and you're treating yourself accordingly. And there is deep wisdom in you. You need love and attention. The inner child needs love and attention, just like you as a small child needed love and attention to survive. If your formative experiences before age 7 showed you it's necessary to act out to get attention, even if that attention is negative attention, then this foundational imprint shows up in how you meet life. So maybe you're thinking, I had a really good childhood and I had really loving parents. And that's a blessing. You likely have a lot of love and security in your foundational imprinting. And yet, also if you're listening to this, you probably have a sense that there are patterns in your life that challenge you. Perhaps in love relationships, or in finances, or in your expression, whatever areas in which you're repeatedly triggered into uncomfortable emotions. So these challenging or triggering areas are the ones in which we as adults can now reparent ourselves. We can step in and meet that inner child with unconditional love, and we can repattern that foundational imprint that isn't working well for us. we can repattern it with safety and assurance and lots of love no matter what. And through practicing this again and again, both when we're triggered or upset and when we're not, so through practicing again and again, we can resolve these emotional experiences. We can resolve the inner child's emotional experience from trauma into love. To make this more real for you, I'll give an example from my life. A pattern that shows up for me again and again is being driven to get things done. Putting this in front of what feels good or what I need in the moment, like rest or a good meal or play. So the pattern is prioritizing doing over nurturing. And in working with my inner child, I've seen a very little me alone in the crib crying. And in the inner child's psyche, what this means is I'm not important, and there are other important things that the adults are doing. So getting to a scene like this and finding the foundational core belief that was created from it, that's something that I'll be getting into in the next meditation and will continue to build over time. And witnessing this scene and the little me's core belief, and then practicing unconditional love for the little child again and again, has allowed me more and more to nurture myself and to allow myself to play and have fun and know that whatever I need to get done will also get done. So this has been a development over time, this shift, and it's certainly not complete. I'm continuing to nurture and build this new imprint of nurturing and allowing fun. And this is an example of a shift that can show up for you, of one of the shifts that can show up for you. And there will be more than one shift that shows up for you as you cultivate unconditional love and work with the inner child. So thank you for listening, and to those of you who have been following and subscribing. And I will be continuing to put out more guided meditations and teachings. If you haven't checked out the first 2 guided meditations yet, they will help you to already get started with this work, and I will be continuing to add more guidance week by week. If you'd like to get notifications each time I add a new video with guided meditation or teaching, please go ahead and click the subscribe button below this video. And thank you for practicing with me.